We have our report now in Power BI Service Online. I'm going to show you how to make some final edits to it and then get it published online to the web for other users to use. So I'm going to click on it. And right now, I can just view it and I can, interact with it like we saw to do on the desktop. But maybe I want to make some final touches. I could have done this on the desktop, but you can still do that here in the online service. We still have some functionality. So I'm going to click on Edit Report, and you'll see that all of my fields come up. And I feel like I just can't read this count of force indicator by precinct. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to make some changes to the title. So I'm going to click the Format button. I'm going to come down here to Title. And I'm going to change that font color to, I need it to be black. It defaults to this gray, and I just can't read that. I'm going to blow it up a little bit. I'm going to make the font size 14. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Your eyes may be better than mine, but this is just too much for me to try to read like this. So I'm going to make this black. And I'm going to blow this up to 14. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to make this black. Oops. That is the background color. I do not want to mess with that. Let me get that back to white and get my font to the black color. And I'm actually going to go ahead and bold this too. I believe I have an option to bold it. Okay, maybe I don't. That might be just in the desktop setting. All right, now here, these don't have titles on them. I can add a title. I have to turn this on. I'll just call this call type, and that'll allow me to have a little more functionality with editing the font. There we go. And I can do the same thing here. I won't go through all of them, but you kind of get the idea of how you can go through and change these. Now I'm also going to just play with the layout a little bit. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, and you can always click on it, any of them, to blow it up. They're all going to be pretty small as they're laid out here, but you can always, again, click on them to make them bigger. Did not mean to go up that small. So let me pull this back down. Okay, and I think I made an error there with that title. I want the font color to be black. I want the background color to stay white. Okay, and I'm going to pull these slicers. I want this to be down a little bit. I think I've done the best I can do with it. Okay, I had lost a couple of my slicers, but I found them up here. So I'm going to pull these down. And I do just want to add an overall title. So I'm going to do this. There's an option up here that will allow me to add a text box right here. I'm going to pull this over. I want to kind of move him over to the right. All right, so I'm adding this text box. I find that it's a little finicky when trying to move it, but if you grab it down here at the bottom right corner, it tends to be tends to work out more easily. And so I'm just going to give this a title. Okay, and so the data source is something like data.seattle.gov. Okay, I have it correct in the posted version I shared with you all. Okay, so here it is. I do think you should cite your data source for sure and make sure you're using data that is okay to publish. All right, and I'm going to format that text there. And so I can actually do that here, and I'm going to make that pretty big. Have the entire thing selected. There we go. I'll make it, okay. And of course you can play with the colors. We don't want to get too colorful, but if you want to add a little color, that's okay. And there we go. And you can move these guys around a little bit too. I think this was an old text box I had. I'm going to remove it. Just highlight it here and just remove. I can make this a little bit bigger now. All right, so once you get to this point, you can sort of play with the layout a little bit. Now that you've made some final edits, you'll want to save it. So I'm just going to come over here to save. All right, after you've saved it, now you have the functionality to publish this to the web. So you can say File, Publish to Web. Okay, and so let's do this. And so now you have a link to this report, and you also have some code that you can embed the report. This is what I did in Blackboard. I took this code and I embedded the report in Blackboard. But for your project, you're going to have to give me this link so I can go to your report and interact with it, and also so that other students can go to your report and interact with it. I'm going to go ahead and just copy this link, and I'm going to go to a new browser now. Just open a new browser. I'm going to paste that link, and you'll see that this report that we've created is now populated on the web, and so anybody could come in here that has that link and interact with your report. Okay. And that is what you'll want to do for your finished individual project and also group project.